Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby-dim, ribby-dim. Hey, hey. La 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 Lord. You man a tribute from Black Uhuru Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé. Luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe. Viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Son los más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Wanna can get respect from Volume 8. My niggas on Volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills. Criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills. Criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I got just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just put a nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, oh. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound in
Shalom, fam. All right, I'm just getting ready. Give me a few minutes. I should be ready. All right. Lord willing, y'all doing well. And for you guys that are celebrating Sabbath today, I guess happy Sabbath. Y'all know me. I move. I'm not trying to impose my understanding upon y'all. As long as we all keep the laws of God, I think eventually we'll all get it cleared. I want to talk about a little bit of Passover also, and then we'll move on in my class. But bear with me, fam. Okay, let me take care of a few details here real quick. As you know, with YouTube, they like to mess with me.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Let me also sound the shofar, fam, because this is war. All right, keep that in mind, man. Whenever we bring out the scriptures, and especially truth with facts, this is war. All right, keep that in mind. Let's not forget. Let's go.
Muero porque toques el cielo, pero no el suelo, sí que créetelo. Quítate el velo velozmente, bro. Vívete tu sueño, pero despierta a la hora que toca. Esa hora, motherfucker, wake up.
Yo me meo en tu cubata antes. Bebo matar ratas con tan. Vaya al bosque a lo Tarzán mientras enlazan. Fraternidad en casa con su polo, colisteras trenas. Te han dejado en el desván de su pensar un mar de ideas. Con grandes ideas ardiendo en chimeneas antiguas. Ríe Dios al ver que te santiguas. Su mente y su luz son ambiguas como mi voz. Lo que para ti es un don, para mí una misión fija. Mis versos son de ninja, tu poesía papija. Que no se fijan, que hay más allá del cristal.
La matriz hipnotiza.
Mi energía os hace trizas, yo en mi nave nodriza. Comiendo pizza con piña, moldeo toroides, vórtices. Con mi mente arbores, gente junto ponices y milos para crear pegasos en ese perro. Cánticos lemurianos me hacen sentir como en mi hogar. La noche se avecina y se afilan colmillos de vampiras psíquicas. Frecuencias del malestar las alimentan. Nuestro deber es tener garras críticas. Bazookas espaciales enlatada con la función del sol central, causando desinformaciones bíblicas. Todo lo existente es relativo, o al menos la materia que te describo. Soy antipersonas como las minas y mino. La moral del que venga a negar lo que digo con la mira por tan ombligo. Si me retiro del partido que sea como Figo.
Conocidos en me la pela en verdad.
En mi barrio me conocen más que tú a tu enamorada. No hay payasos, solo en anémonas. Gárgola Andrómeda eres.
Conserva tus células primigenias o no podrás volar. El virus se llevó a unos cuantos, pero el ego a más. Se elevó el más de la opulencia. Digo, ciencia de vaso y Satanás en el espejo. Jesucristo, la conciencia del flow. La tierra y su paz están vibrando. Los sentimientos son la trampa que están manejando. Los hilos de los cuales tú y tu ego estáis medio colgándonos. Que yo sea un superdotado, ni tú. Solo lo que tú sabes de mierda yo sobre el cosmos. Que lo estudio y profundamente sano me lo tomo. Si no ya hubiera ido a visitar al doctor. Porque no soy devoto, mucho menos un santo. Yo jamás voto, pero dale que asalto. Cuando en verdad sé que tendría que sudarme todo la polla. Pero pienso que hay que vivir por algo. Que en el letargo cure lo enfermo. Sabor amargo, remedio eterno. Me pregunto a toda esa gente que le he hecho. Y canalizo desde el cielo un verbo al cielo, bro.
Hey, shalom, family, shalom. Man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Every time I watch this video, every single time I watch it, it just like, man, it just so motivates me, family. It just so motivates me, man. Because I like the part where, the drums kick in and I hint it right there, bro. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The reason why I changed my name is, first of all, because I was named Emmanuel. That was a suggestion from where I used to be at. And it wasn't anything other option. There was no other options, right? It's just a process, anyways, that you go through, whatever. But you know, spirit is a little different, man. I know that you guys probably maybe wonder why I play certain songs. Like, how can you mean? Well, listen. I've always been a. I guess people usually hear like a roughneck kid. I've always was a little peleador. I was always a little fighter, man. Since I was little, I was a scrapper. My brother's older brother. I'm the last one out of 10, fam. Of course, I'm like Latino, I'm so-called Hispanic. Come on, man. We come from big families. A lot of my brothers are older than me, right? I'm the youngest one, of course. So, they all know like how we move. My dad never taught us to be bullies, but he always said defend yourself. I just happened to be the little kid that I'd have to fight you to be your friend. I just was like that. I'm not like that anymore. All praises to the Most High. So my spirit is a fighting spirit, which is why I box and very aggressive. That's why my back hurts, whatever, all this kinds of shit. Anyways, the point being is, for me in this channel, y'all gonna get that taste with the scriptures. You're not gonna get no Christian shit here. Oh, Padecito, como nos queremos todos debajo del Diosito Blanco. No, you ain't gonna get that here. Okay, you're gonna get fire here. You're gonna get a warrior spirit here, because that's all I can say about myself. Now, I'm not going to be one to go out there and go scrap. Like, man, I'm 46 going on 47, fam. Come on, really? But I will be the first one to defend my gente and my family. I will tell you that right now. That's without a doubt, fam. And I'm sure that a lot of us will do that. It's not a problem. I understand that. Okay. But anyways, I'm just touching on this because don't get confused here. I bring up information, I bring up scripture, but I'm not going to be soft on people. If you're expecting to have, personal care, nail salon shit here, you're on the wrong channel. Hold on real quick. I don't want to be all completely ignorant of all my gente here. Elishaba, shalom, says all praises, all praises. Hey, Julio, what's up, bro? Shalom, family. Hey, bro, I cannot show that it's live. Wow, that's crazy. It's not. Yeah, it is live, bro. It's live. It's as live as it can get. Today is 4/8/2023, 11:08 a.m. my time, and I'm in, California. So I don't know what that's about. Anyway, let's listen to this again, man. I really like this, fam. Like, let's just look. Me particularly, there's two things I like. This, that right there, and this. There it goes. Which is why I called this class. I forgot what I called it. Oh, Black Europeans of White America. What a dork. All right. Black Europeans of White America is what it's called. Anyways, I appreciate you, brother, for hooking me up with that video, man. But no, anyhow, and the reason I do it is because we have some challenges, family. We got some serious challenges ahead of us. Before I get into my class, I do want to say this, okay? I want to read the scripture. I want to try to read a scripture before I get going on this. And oh, by the way, in case I didn't shalom any of you guys, you that are watching from afar or peeking in or watching me from like the little scroll down, you know what I mean, where you don't click on the channel, but you're a heathen. stick around. Please stick around. And I would suggest to, make a comment. Correct me if I'm wrong as I bring up a bunch of this stuff that you're not going to like. You see, in this channel, we slay Canaanite theory, so-called history, and we kind of like, mesh it up like slime and just make noise out of it. Because it's really ridiculous that we've gone this far. You see, this is why I love this scripture. It says here, Deuteronomy 29:29, it says, the secret things belonging unto the Lord our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, perpetual wisdom, family, that we may do all the words of this law. So, as long as you are, well, I don't want to say as long as, you better be keeping the laws of God if you're Hebrew. Okay, that's for one. All right. Two, if you are, Lord willing, you are sincere. And it's not just about the fringes and the beard and the no pork. No, it's about thorough examination. I watched this video the other day. It was a Confucius said something. I can't remember what it says. He says the noble men are the ones that demand more of themselves before they demand more of others. That's called 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourself if ye are in the faith. Know ye not? Let's read it. Wait, hold up. Before I read it, let me just take touch. I'm not done yet. Wait, man, I'll come back to it. I'm going to make sure I come back to it. Hold on. Let me copy and paste. Because sometimes I forget these things. All right. So again, 2 Corinthians 13:5, it says, examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Again, the nobleman or woman demands more of themselves than they do to others, than you do before you demand of others. You see, that's a true Hebrew right here. It's not just about fringes and not eating pork and going to so-called Passover. It's considered, solemn assembly. Some of y'all are partying and shit. Now, by the way, family, if you're not able to celebrate Passover this month, you can celebrate it next month, okay? You can. Now, there's particular reasons why you can't celebrate it, okay? It has to be a legitimate reason. You're unclean, you're traveling, stuff like that. It's got to be legitimate. If you can prepare, then you should not skip it. The reason I'm saying this, family, I've had some conversations with some brothers. They're still new. Or myself, because I'm like, hey, I'm moving. So I can't literally enjoy and celebrate these things. Because I'm moving. You understand? Which is why we bring that topic. Anyhow, hey, shalom. Anyhow, going back to this point, examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? So, if you are keeping the laws of God sincerely, and you are really about examining yourself, you're noble, and saying, I demand more of me before I demand of others, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. I want y'all to remember that. This is what makes us special in the eyes of the Lord, that we do have that in our spirit to raise our children as familia. 70%. Matter of fact, what's that I watched the other day? It said that 70% of the population in the I forget how, the elderly care, right? A lot of them are white. And like a good portion of them are so-called African Americans, like 15 or 20%. It's scaling up, basically, right? Ours always has and has continued to be. It does say it's scaling. Careful. But at 5%, fam. So again, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God. You see, because the classes I do have made and have made in the past do tell us that the fruit don't fall far from the tree. Right? But those things which are revealed belong unto us. So you, brother and sister, you, brother, particularly, if you are studying the scriptures, then those things will be revealed to you if you are examining yourself in sincerity about growing in this truth. It's not just about beard, or debating, or fringes, It's about you becoming a better man, a sincere, better man. Not just to be a leader, not just to teach, but to actually love your wife, love your children, have a good relationship with them, get to know your family. You know why? Because it begins, I'm sorry, in the house. The change starts in the house. So this is why One West, right, doesn't understand this. They will tell their so-called heathen brothers and say, well, not so-called, they're heathen brothers, and say, and I'm going to call you Hispanics that are in there heathens as well, because you got the mentality of a heathen right now. You're basically the heathenish mentality. It is what it is. Swallow the pill. Okay? Because when you're dealing with that, that's exactly what's going on. The influence, it's the same spirit. So I'm sorry to tell y'all the heathens right now. And these secret things don't belong to you guys, because when you go into these camps, the first thing they tell you is forget about the woman, forget about the kids, you can make more. Go out there and pass out flyers, and give us alms, But yet the secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children, that we may do all the words of this law. So now, how do we continue this generation of understanding? By teaching our household first. How the hell do you think you're going to go teach some stranger? Because you know what? It's so easy for you to tell a stranger how wrong they are. It's very hard for you to tell the people in your household how wrong they are when they see your shit. And that's a fact. But you see, it takes a real man to understand that. Not these so-called stupid shows, by the way. Let's just kind of get off topic here a little bit, because I see this a lot. These so-called men, right? These so-called high-value men that are inviting these only fangirls to diss them and talk shit and talk down to them. But hey, you know, it is what it is. They match each other. But I find it so stupid that these so-called high-value men are actually like advising our some of our men, right? Some of them, not all of them. A lot of them are Canaanite and Edomites. That's fine. Y'all can go ahead and swallow the pill on that shit. But not all gente, right? And I find it so ironic that they say, oh, high value man, and he don't look, you know, he wants a girl that's a homely girl, a traditional girl. Yeah. So what makes it traditional is that you ain't trying to sleep with her, you dumbass. You see, there's a thing about courting, that you don't sleep with the woman. This is why, fam, it is stupid to listen to advice of older people where they're trying to change the shit in the relationship aspect instead of changing it at the home and dealing with your children. All praises to the Most High God. And I talk to brothers too. We have daughters that are actually reserving themselves. Yes, 19 years old, family. You see what I'm saying? It starts at the house, but it starts with you. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God. So why is he our God? Because again, the fruit don't fall far from the tree. And I'm sorry to tell y'all, but in this world of sodomy, body count, promiscuousness, divorce is pushed by the white and black nations of America. It is a fact. A ver, ¿sí o no?
A ver, que alguien me explique.
In case y'all don't know what the hell that is and you don't understand my humor, fam, get on with it. Anyhow, let's continue. So here's what I also want to read. Revelation 3:10. Let's check it real quick. Watch. It reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. What hour of temptation is this? Because you look, think about this for a second. Okay? Why is this scripture in here? I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. What is temptation? Falling into sin, falling into believing another God, another spirit, another doctrine, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Isn't that what we're like experiencing right now, fam? A new Christ, a black one that's going to make men into black men and make them fly in the sky on UFOs? That's what we're dealing with. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Why? Because guess what? If you're in the scriptures, you understand secrets, things are going to be revealed to you. Family, the books that I'm about to show y'all, the links and all of these things are not because somebody paid me to show you guys. No, this is actual research. I've been in this walk. I'm a baby. I'm a child, 5 and change years. But since I came in, I have been diligent about my note taking and materials I have, and all praise to the Most High. I have a good memory, so I can remember things from a long time ago and link them up. And oh, that's right, that's where I read that book, and I'll fly through the filing. Right now, I got it all boxed up. But again, because I have been patient. Yes, it's not easy, fam. If you look at all the New Testament, I love the New Testament, man, because it's all about the psychological progression of a Hebrew. If you don't understand it, rewind, because I'm not going to explain it. Here's why, because it gives you the steps on how to deal with the sin in the mind. And you see, when the scripture that talks about we glory in tribulation, right? And tribulation brings patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. But thou hast kept the word of my patience. So through patience, I've learned to be still, like Psalms 4:4. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is what we're coming to right now, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, because the history that we've been taught has been told in us that it's only the white man that enslaved our people. Then it says, behold, I come quickly, hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Whoa! Yes, man. Yes. You so-called Hispanic in these camps, your crown is taken, dummies. Because you're so agitated by the white man, right? They did what they did. But it wasn't just the white man. Folio. Yeah, that's a word. Dummy. Simple. Dumb. Silly dove. Isn't that what they call y'all in those rooms? That's what they call you guys in those rooms. But you see, the Most High does reveal information for us here. Us true Hebrews, right? You so-called Hispanics and natives, Indians, the indigenous people of this land, right? Our original people, the ones that came here when the migration began with the 10 tribes. Y'all know which way we came. I'm not going to explain it. Go watch my class. Guess what? He waters us best. Sirach 24:31. Watch what he reads, fam. Because there's many trees in this world. I said, I will water my best garden. We are his best garden. I will water abundantly my garden bed. Why? That water is understanding, wisdom, and knowledge, and secrets, and patience, and trials. That's what you got to glory in that, man. That's how we are who we are. That's how we are who we are, fam. There's nothing that literally can anyone. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something real quick. Hold up. I think I had it here, and all praises. I think I sent it to myself. Maybe I didn't. Is this one, I think? Yep. Raza, this is why I love y'all so much, man. There's no denying that we don't give up, nor do we surrender. Let's go.
Question. Who works the hardest in the United States?
Hispanics.
And who makes the least amount of money?
Hispanics.
But who are the happiest people every weekend that you see in the damn parks doing barbecues with their family and having the best time?
Hispanics.
Why is that?
I don't know.
They have something that money can't buy.
Y preto el bulevar con mi compa flaco arremangando, unos guaraches en mi gorra de lado, por la zapata el oro trae el mando, tirando líneas con Manel Cañá, a la respalde Soren conectado. Y mi rete en Acapulco y se pedo lo sepulto, y aquí no andamos haciendo bulto, al chingazo yo resulto, de una gloxona que va conmigo, siempre lista para un susto, y que sigan llegando las pacas.
Best Gardens family. I said I will water my best gardens. I will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. This is why we got the word now, fam. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. Then it says here, behold, I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek learning. That's one that I share with y'all. But here, this is the beautiful part here. Because guess what? Yeah, we have it hard, fam. But I'm going to tell you this something, man. There's something about our gente that you cannot take away at all, regardless of what happens. Which is why I believe the best garden is always fed with abundance of water. Now we're starting to know who we are according to the Bible. There's no denying it anymore. But the reason I do these classes is because we do have a pair of heathens that love to claim that they're the people of the book, that say that they're the people of the book. However, we got documentation that shows otherwise, fam. So let me show you this real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 8, it says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Messiah. So now, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. What is vain deceit? What is one of them? Here's one vain deceit, fam. For centuries, we've known that slavery, well, we thought slavery only happened to certain people. Okay? That's what we thought. And when we went into these camps, this is what they said. Deuteronomy 28:32, they said, see, look, yeah, they taking our daughters, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for all them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Yeah, you see, they put us in jail, they lock us up, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And you're like a dummy because you're like, yeah, the white man. Okay, cool. Sounds good. And I know it happens to our gente. I know that for a fact. But then, as you get into the scriptures, man, secrets are being revealed to you. And then you find books that are like, wait a minute, hold on a second. When I started finding this material, fam, I wasn't intending to. I didn't have no intent to. The last thing I wanted was to carry this kind of burden, to have to tell people, look, you MFs also enslaved our gente. And that's something that we are going to have to now, like, understand what that means. A lot of us, it's going over our head like, no. Yes. See, a lot of us, you think, now the white man, yeah, it's acceptable. But no, black folks also had slaves. Yes. And you guys ain't going to get away with that shit. You're not going to get away with, was it slavery or was it job security? I've actually heard that, family. I've actually heard people say in those comments, was it slavery or was it job security? The nerve. So when it pertains to a particular type of people, like for example, the stupid 1619 dumb show. Yes, it's dumb because you guys excluded a particular nation of people that enslaved as well. You damn well include the white man, which is, they're like a piñata right now. They're so easy to just smack in it. Yeah, of course. And then you have the nerve, your favorite word, the audacity to say, here, I'm going to show you this broad right here. Yes, I said it. All right. I dislike this damn heathen so much, man. I have so much this taste for this. I can't even say it. This right here. Look, The nerve. Now, my question again to you, so-called African Americans: what makes this woman black? She's lighter than me. Is it her hair? Is it her nose? Is it her lips? What? Literally, man. Mariah Carey, y'all think she's black because she's 1/8? But you look at me and I'm a white man? Wow. But that's not my point. Let's go. This is the point here. The nerve of you, Canaan. You include the white man, which, hey, I'm not here to defend him, but I'm going to point out some shit about him. That happened to him too. And you include our so-called natives, but you don't include you?
And one that will probably be the most surprising to readers is the one by Harvard historian Taya Miles on settler colonialism, Indian removal, and how the 5 so-called civilized tribes also engaged in chattel slavery. I knew we needed to have an essay that dealt with Indian removal, but we had to find the right one. So
we had to find the right one. Oh, no audio. Can you hear it now, though, sis? Let me see. Let me play it again. Hold up. Hold on.
And one that will probably be the most surprising to readers is the one by Harvard historian Taya Miles on settler colonialism, Indian removal, and how the 5 so-called civilized tribes also engaged in chattel slavery. I knew we needed to have an essay that dealt with Indian removal, but we had to find the right one. So.
Yeah, so you can hear what she's saying. We had to find the right one. So now, I brought this out to you guys before, and let's start with this here real quick. Where are you? Where are you? Da-da-da-da-dum. Give me a second. What is it here? I'm gonna have to bring up another window. I got some windows here to show you. This was a law. I read this to y'all before several times. See, again, we used to think this right here all the time. Any law about slavery was like, oh, poor black folks, right? Partus sequitur ventrum. It was that which is born follows the womb. So if you're a woman, a slave woman, your baby will be slaves. So we all thought it was just about black people. It passed in 1662. And we also thought that in those years there was absolutely no concept of even black kings or anything. You're all white. You know what I'm saying? That's all we knew. Okay. So I'm going to show you a picture of this. Give me a second, family. Partus sequitur ventrum. I put it in this picture because I want you to look. Who are they selling right here? A native sister. She ain't black. So-called African American. He is. He's holding her. He looks wealthy. Look at his leather boots. They're not concerned. I have the picture completely showing the depiction of everything here. These guys are waiting to buy her. But it's a great intervention. Now, some folks are going to come here and say, you're lying. Here, let's hear it from them themselves, too.
A common characteristic for the first illustrious so-called African Americans to rise into prominence was a melanin deficient parent, in most cases, a father. This outcome was mostly a result of Virginia colonial slave statute, Partus sequitur ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman, born of an enslaved Indian woman, born of an enslaved Indian woman.
of an enslaved Indian woman. Okay. That was the law. That law was towards our sisters. I'm going to show y'all more documentation on it. Watch.
Will always remain enslaved. This law gave planters and free white men in general carte blanche authority.
Planters and free white men in general. Free white men. You hear that? He said free white men. Why would you say free before you say white if whites should have been free? Right? Second, why say planters and then say free white men? So who the hell are the planters? Black people? We'll see.
To impregnate captured women without having to so much as even claim responsibility for their mixed race children. Just as common, these children were sold on the mulatto maid market as house niggas for an added sticker price as compared to their darker skinned counterparts. In this aspect, Virginia colonial law was totally contradictory to English common law, which states that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law extending from the earlier Virginia codes was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence.
Legalized rape of indigenous women, okay?
And naturally, the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free.
Children born of a white mother and a black father were considered free. Let that sink in, fam. How is that? I thought every black person was a slave. But now they're going to say, the non-believers, nah, you're lying, participative. Okay. This is from a book I got called The Judicial. Here, hold on a second, family. Give me a second. It says here, it's from the Judicial Cases Concerning American Slavery and the Negro. Okay. We're gonna go to page 53. I'll touch on this in a little bit. Hold up. Let me get to the part to sequitur ventrum part so you don't lose it. Okay. If you can see here on the bottom, it says here, page 63. On the bottom, it says, in the later history of Indian slavery in Virginia, it is the female Indian slave who is prominent as the ancestress of slaves petitioning for freedom. For if she had been a slave unlawfully, her descendants in the female line were free. In accordance with the axiom of the civil law, partus sequitur ventrum, which was accepted generally, except in Maryland for a few years, 1664 to 1681. Okay? Then it says here on this page, like the index, I guess, partus sequitur ventrum, an Indian mulatto suit for freedom. Y'all can read this book here. It gets very interesting. And it talks about a variety of things, specifically how they enslaved our sisters. Watch this. Page 63 says, however, the colonists did not depend on traffic or kidnapping for their supply of Indian slaves, but took the enemy pagan by their own progress in war. and enslaved him long before the passage of Virginia Act of 1776 and 1676 and 1679. When forces were being raised in Maryland in 1652 for in march against the Eastern Shore Indians. Such Indian prisoners as shall happen to be are declared the spoils of those who financed the expedition. Yet Indians were also reduced to slavery in punishment for crime. A lot of this here. It actually shows, look, watch this. If this is one here, I think it's this one. It says here, hold on a second. Page 53 says the servant problem, or rather the problem of service, in the early colonial days defied solution, but necessity caused 9 or 10 variety of servitors to be involved in Virginia. Most of them existing in other colonies also. This is saying like how there was a structure, right? Watch this. These varieties arranged approximately in order of social precedence were the white indentured servants, the white servants without indenture, of whom were two classes, those who came voluntarily and came involuntarily, of which latter were the men, women, and children who were spirited away, who those left their country for their country's good, or probably the duty boys. The Christian Negro servant was the head of the Indian servant, mulatto servants, whose servitude was the penalty for having a white mother and an Indian, or a Negro, or mulatto father. But yet, we heard the other guy say that fathers that were black and mothers that were white, their kids were considered free because of the mom. You see that? So I hear people say the hijack. This is one of them. And this book also brings up regarding how, let's see, hold on. Hold on. Thus, second paragraph, thus we have shown that the first slaves in the colony of Virginia were Indians, not Negroes, and that the laws of the colony sanction Indian slavery, except as regards to the prospective importation by land for a few years after the passage of the Act of 1670. The practice of the colonists in accordance to their laws is illustrated by the case of the courts of Virginia and Maryland. It says Indians of Carib Islands were brought into country Virginia by Captain Sampson, but the experiment was too disastrous to warrant reputation, at least for a whole scale. Besides the traffic in Indian slavery between Virginia and Maryland colonies mentioned above, the Maryland courts record contain other instances of Indian slavery. So the first slaves in Virginia were Indians, natives. In Maryland, in 1656, they belonged to the household of one overseer, a Negro. He wasn't a slave, he was overseer. A white woman servant, and an Indian slave. You see that? The Negro overseer had power over the white woman servant and the Indian slave. In 1661, which is Participator Ventrum, one citizen of Maryland demands an Indian, promised him the satisfaction of another Indian belonging to the split, I guess, sold by other of the defeated something unto the Queen of Porterback. You see, there's a lot going on in this time, family. There's a lot of buying of Indians, a lot of selling of Indians. So we've been told that it wasn't Indians being enslaved. Watch this here. I got this right here. Let me see if I have it. Let me bring it out. Hold on a second here. That's what it says in this book. Let the blood stay pure. Page, I believe, 70, I think. It says here, again in 1666, and barely a decade before the onset of Bacon's rebellion, Governor Berkeley issued an order against the Rappahannock River tribe. Members of the tribe allegedly murdered some colonists in the section violation of the Treaty of 1646. With 1660 and 1661 Retribution Act in place, the General Court, Berkeley presiding, declared that for revenge, all alleged murders, natives, and for the prevention of future mischiefs towards natives, the tribes would be prosecuted with war, and their women, part 2 Sequitur Ventrum, and children, slaves, taken and then disposed of according to such instructions as shall be issued from the right honorable the governor. We see a lot of slavery in this time, right? We see a lot of slavery in this time. Lots of slavery. So let me bring this up here. Is this it? Let me see. Is this it? No, this is not it. Where are you? There it goes, right here. This is from just one page, fam. I couldn't get the book. Free Black Owners of Slaves, a reprisal of the Woodson Thesis. R. Halliburton Jr. Let's see. I'll read second paragraph. Undergraduate history students are usually, hold on. Undergrad history students are usually amazed to learn of the large number of free blacks in the antebellum period. Graduate students are often surprised to learn that some of these blacks owned slaves. Saying so. History professors are frequently skeptical when they hear the number of free black slave holders and the number of slaves they own. Indeed, in 1905, Booker T. Washington wrote, "My own personal recollection brings no case in mind of free black men owning slaves. Nor am I ever able to refer to you any books making reference to this phase of slavery, in case it did exist. Yet at one time or another, free blacks owned slaves in each of the 13 colony states, and later in every state that countenanced slavery." Where did these free blacks come from? Some had never been slaves. They had been indentured servants who had become free. Some had purchased their freedom. Others were born of free parents, while some were born free by miscegenation, meaning the mixture of white and black people. Slaves were also emancipated for meritorious military duty of faithful service by the last will and testament, saving a life, advantage age, infirmity, and other reasons. So now we see Booker T. Washington. These guys went to college, right? Oh, I've never found any books that talk about black slavery. Say it ain't so. All right, well, I'm not no Ivy League student, but I found this one. Free Negro owners of slaves in the United States, 1830, absentee, Washington, D.C. This is from Library of the University of Illinois. Huh, interesting. All right, so you guys can read this book if you guys want. I've shared it with you before. It just talks about Negroes, how they own slaves. Alabama, Connecticut, Florida, Columbia, Georgia, Kentucky, Illinois. All of these people own slaves, and all of these people on the left are black, and all of these people here on the right are the number of slaves they had. This right here. Where's IUIC? Where's One West Camp? Where are you guys? Are you not going to defend this here? Let me read that real quick. Let's see. There is a channel showing that the Indian looking people in America are like the current blacks in the U.S. wearing the. So now they're calling themselves the Indians they're always there, and suddenly the ship translate chase no more the story, but they were always here. Yeah, it's. Well, a matter of fact, you reminded me of this, sis. Thanks for telling me. Hold up. I got a video here to show you. Hold on a second. Oh, here it goes, right here.
To all the non-native folks that like to play dress up with indigenous culture. Take that feather headdress off, you're not indigenous. Ain't no one gonna believe you're a Cherokee princess. Your mama might have told you so, but she was lying, now you know. Take that feather headdress off, you're not indigenous. Well, the native people of this land are sick of all that mess. Their culture ain't a costume, so take off that powwow dress. The beads and feathers and leather fringe are making all the native people cringe. So take that feather headdress off, you're not indigenous.
I thought that was funny. I wanted to show you. I thought that was funny. Like the books that I showed you, all right, it actually gives you an idea of how black folks were owning slaves. And that's why the moms would tell them, "Oh, you're part native. You look like you look like it." Because the black folks were raping our sisters, fam. That's where you get a bunch of these aboriginals. That's why they lost their mind. And then they go and say that the Europeans were black too. So they're their own enemies, if that was true. So they enslaved themselves, put themselves on the bottom, but they didn't enslave us? I don't know. Oh, gosh. Anyhow, let's continue. So here we see a bunch of Negroes. Yes, you guys. Look at this. Le Frères de Croix, French. I think that's how you say it. 59 slaves, total 71. Black folks, y'all own slaves. What are you going to say to this? Louisiana. This is all in the South, fam. Black people, all in the South, owning slaves. This is it. This is not a lie, fam. Y'all can get the book. Well, here, I'll show you. Let me get you the link, Six. Hold on. This is you guys right here. Slave after slaves, after slaves, after slaves, after slaves. Not every white person owns slaves. You know that, right? Black folks, slaves. New York, Mississippi, slaves. North Carolina, slaves. Pennsylvania, Ohio. You see, right now, we're now going to have to wonder. No, now we question you. Regardless of, let's just say it don't matter. Well, let's just say we don't know who these people are that you enslaved. Let's say they're white. Fine. We didn't enslave white people. Let's say they're black. Fine. We didn't enslave our own people. Okay. Let's say now that they're natives. Well, now you mofos, now you're going to have to deal with us. You see, whichever way you slice it, y'all effed up. This is why One West is just, I don't know why y'all don't even come bother me. I really don't. I mean, I see video after video. I see my channel famine. I never get any more of these suckers coming over here and saying you're wrong. Those books are wrong. You're making stuff up. This is not a lie. This is just the beginning. Where are you? Right here. Hold up. I'll show you later. This is from the American Yacht Reader. I found this. Rhode Island Protest Property Restriction Voting, 1834. It says here, many poor white men gained voting rights. Many poor white men gained voting rights, also known as suffrage, for the first time in the 1830s. I thought black folks couldn't vote. I know we couldn't vote. Hold on. These changes in American democracy did not take place without conflict. Conflict against who? White people? Well, who was against them? Their own white people? Or black people? Voting rights in Rhode Island only changed after poor Rhode Islanders raised a militia and threatened violence. Below is the proposal of many of the men who 7 years later took up arms to fight for voting rights. You see, fam, I'm going to share this with y'all in case you don't know this, okay? In case you don't know this. You probably don't, because a lot of times we don't hear about these things, okay? So there is something called, where is it at? I want you to consider, okay, Woodrow Wilson. Look up Woodrow Wilson and find out about his administration. You're going to find out that there's a lot of historical information which was omitted and rewritten. It's under the lost cause narrative. Check it out. You see, this Woodrow Wilson guy, he got a lot of power, and he had a lot of, they call it academic influence. That's what they say. Because he was a president or former president of Princeton University. Okay. So with his understanding, he basically allowed the changes to stop using common history books of that time. So the history of the white American folks was rewritten due to Woodrow Wilson. Why do you think? I mean, look them up, fam. The Board of Trustees in 2020, right? They basically took off his include. They changed the name because he was racist views. He had racist views. You guys can look it up. It's Wilson College. Now it's called, I guess, First College. So he had a lot to do with the reconstruction, in a sense, of the American history. And you see a lot of these books that we find now. That's why I always said it before, fam. The white man and the black man are tied to the hip. They cannot expose each other. So they throw subtle jabs at each other. You see, and this is why we need to understand what the Bible is saying when it says stuff like this. Jeremiah 5:15, lo, I bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, saith the Lord, a mighty nation, and it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understanding what they say. Now, I'm going to show you this. Watch this. You see, they know who they are. A lot of them know who they are, but a lot of them don't want to admit it, especially the ones that are trying to be Hebrews. Watch this. Thank you, brother, for sending me this. Appreciate it.
Start at verse 1. Hey, bro, come check this out, man. What's your name, too? What's your name? Huh? Christian. You a Christian? Oh, your name Christian. Okay, cool. My name Amos. Nice to meet you, man. What we out here doing, we showing him what his nationality is. Where you see yourself on this sign? I can teach you, too. You a Canaanite? Oh, you know for a fact you're a Canaanite. Your father's a Canaanite.
What?
We are Canaanites.
Where does it come from? Where does it come from? Brother, read that again.
You can overtalk me, but the truth remains the same.
Read that again.
We are not Hebrew Israelites, which we was in Canaan. We was the dark-skinned people in Canaan that Joshua and Caleb seen, and Joshua say, we look like grasshoppers to them. Because us as,
Brother, hold on. You just mixed up.
What he was going to say was he was an ancient nation, a mighty nation. That's why Jeremiah 5:15 says, lo, I bring a nation upon you from afar, a house, O house of Israel, saith the Lord, a mighty nation. It is an ancient nation. An ancient nation. And you know what? He made a lot of sense, man. Because if you read Numbers 13, watch what it says. I remember this because I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. Because there's a certain type of people that are pretty tall, right? Basketball players, football players, what are they, 6'8", 6'9"? We don't really see a lot of so-called Hispanics that tall. Watch this real quick. And I don't got a problem with it, fam, because it is what it is. I'd rather have wisdom. I can still scrap, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have wisdom. That's just me. Anyhow, Numbers 13:29 says, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south.
and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites, they dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up a evil report of the land which they searched out unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it, it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people there we saw it are men of great stature. And there we saw giants, the sons of Anak, which come as giants, and we were in our own sights as grasshoppers. So we were in their sights. The scriptures said it themselves. The scriptures said it themselves. Here you go, sis. They don't lie. He said it himself. Right here.
Say we look like grasshoppers to them because of dark-skinned people in Canaan that Joshua and Caleb seen, and Joshua say we look like grasshoppers to them because us as
Brother, hold on. You just mixed up.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilonoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana, dawo yami, ayikholana, buso wami, awukholana, ilondoloze.
Because like the Moors, right? So like, would you identify yourself because like the Moors, American title, we know that's later on, but like from a biblical standpoint, would you say that you are the actual descendants of the ancient Canaanites?
Absolutely. Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Emphatically.
Okay.
Emphatically. And the record will reflect it. And the historical record will reflect it. Absolutely. Without a doubt or contradiction.
Then you might have to order circles of the Quran and understand what was the prophet delivering to us. Go down, you finish reading, it says verse 10. And remember I left off where it says the ancient Canaanite nation from the land of Canaan. We are the ancient Canaanite nation, the ancient early pre-inhabitants. And remember I left off where
Told you, family. I told you. I told you. I said it before, and I'll say it again. The Bible don't lie. Jeremiah 5:15. This is why God got mad at us and said, lo, I bring a nation upon you from afar. O house of Israel, saith the Lord. It is a mighty nation which we dealt with back then. Judges 1 and 3. Hello. It is an ancient nation. It is an ancient nation, family. A nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understandeth what they say. Because we don't. Even nowadays. So, it's very clear. The Bible don't lie. But people do. People lie. The Bible doesn't lie. People lie. Psalms 10, watch what it says. His mouth, Psalms 10 and 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. His tongue, and not his tongue, it is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. By calling them wetbags. By calling them
no good kings, by calling them silly doves. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Who are the poor? Us real Hebrews, because we don't know. A lot of us don't know who we truly are. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den, who calls themselves lions. Then it says here, verse 10, I'm going to skip all that. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by strong ones. Oh, no, you indigenous brothers. You don't give a damn about our gente, bro. It's in their spirit. Look, I'm going to show you this right now before I bring this video out. This is from America's gift. Africa's gift to America. Yeah, I need to get this book too. I'm not here to defend the white man, but you guys got to read this stuff. Especially when you got these Africans claiming that they want reparations. Reparations for what? For enslaving? Because you didn't get your way continuously? This is page 52. It says, it happened too that the first slaves in what is now the United States were white Englishmen. You see, Africans were enslaving white folks for quite some time, fam. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact. That's it. Act 5, 1680, the laws of Virginia read, for the encouragement of the trade and manufacture, it is provided that all goods, wares, English servants, Negroes, and other slaves imported after September 29, 1681 shall be landed on and laid on shore, brought and sold at a appointed place, at no other place under penalty. There were advertised sales for sale along with Negroes. It says here, I don't want to read all this. This is pretty long. Let me see. It says here, white servants, says Bancroft, came to be a usual article of traffic. They were sold in England to be transported and in Virginia resold to the highest bidder. Like the Negroes, they were to be purchased and shipped aboard as men by horses at a fair. Watch this. First Africans, not slaves. Page 58. Watch what it reads. I'm going to make it big because I know some people are not going to like this. Strong documentary proof that the first Africans in America were not slaves, and that chattel slavery of them did not start until 1659 or 1682. 17, 18, 19, 20. It says here, it is given for competent research, all right, for these people right here, Russell, Mary, Standard, and Helen, whatever. Russell, in his chapter, Origin of the Free Negro Class, calls the belief that the first Negroes were slaves a popular error maintained and supported by a large number of writers. The evidence points to the customary indenture for Virginia archive shows that throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, Negroes were being released at the end of the period of indenture. And I got the book, Virginia, the Old Dominion. I read it. I've showed it to you guys. It actually shows here that there are cases where there's Negroes going to court to put people back in slavery. Slaves for life were white convicts shipped to Europe. There were no prisons in that part of Africa from which the blacks came. It says here, finally, Negroes bought white people in America as early as 1640. The United States Guide to Virginia says that in the 17th century, Virginia Negroes used to import white servants and receive head rights to land. One of them, Richard Johnson, imported 2 white servants, received 100 acres of land on that Pongotoy River. In 1651, Johnson imported 11 and received 550 acres of adjoining. About 1660, Benjamin Doyle imported 6 and received 300 in Surrey County. That's another black man. While others did same. About 1650, when Johnson house was destroyed by fire, he claimed that he and his wife were inhabitants of Virginia for 30 years, and he was freed from country taxes. County taxes. You believe that? He burned his own house because he didn't want to pay county taxes. It says here, the free Negro in Virginia says, indeed, for more than 20 years after the Negroes first appeared in court, there was no restriction upon their right to own white indentured servants, as well as natives. It says the English visitor to America in 1830 mentioned 2 German families who were bought by free Negroes, of which there is a fairly large number in Baltimore. So you got a lot to ask now. That's why you see a lot of black folks that are real light skinned, because they're white. That's why I keep telling you, man, you got black folks that are white and white folks that are black. I know it sounds weird. Virginia, as we see in Henning statutes, passed laws 5 times prohibiting the purchase of white people by free Negroes. You see, now they're saying, no, stop buying white people. Black people? Black people, you're buying too many white people. Stop it. That include the Jews later. That these first Negroes could buy white people shows that in early America, there were equal treatment for white and black according to class. It was about money. So you had rich black folks as well as rich white folks. And they were European black. That's why I called the class black Europeans. A lot of them called themselves elites. A lot of black people that came from Europe had the European accent. That's why you see miscegenation. That's why you see a lot of mixture. That's why you see a lot of laws against it. The white man was getting tired. And then finally in 1830, you start seeing like actual white people, poor white people voting because they were being outvoted by blacks. Which is why you think about Abraham Lincoln, who was from history, he was black. Why do you think he wanted to include everybody else now? So then the black man could continue to win the voting rights. Which is why after 1865, the white man went crazy and said, "Hell no, we're not letting you guys beat us at the ballot anymore." White supremacy, because they were getting their ass kicked prior to. Just no different. This has been going on for centuries, fam. The white and black folks, they've been fighting for centuries now. We need to be mindful, because now, remember who conquered who. Who had slaves? You see, again, we go back to the history of what really is. Remember what it says, Psalms 10, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit. Because this is what we know of this guy. Now he's saying this.
That the blacks who were colonized and enslaved are indeed the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the biblical text. There's no biblical text that can prove the Jews in the Bible were Caucasians or are Caucasians. There's no biblical text that says or proves Jesus Christ is a Caucasian or white man. All the biblical texts prove that Christ is black, Moses was black, the Apostle Paul was black, and the 12 tribes of Israel are black.
All right, Pan-Africanist. Fine, the white man isn't. That's not them. So now there is texts that show that you Negroes own slaves. So what now? What now? What are you going to say to this? Because I know that for us, this is continuing. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And that I shall look and fill with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. If your dumbass chooses to run away from the cop and then go to jail, that's your stupid ass. Listen, people, you brainless fools, just show your hands. Don't argue with the cops. That's it. So don't go around saying that that's a curse. No, that's stupidity. This is a curse right here. Okay? This is an actual curse.
Dramatic new images from migrant facilities on the U.S.-Mexico border have emerged today. That comes as the Biden administration dispatches top officials to address the sharp increase in migrants seeking asylum. Amna Navaz has been on both sides of the border today, and she reports from McAllen, Texas.
Amid an influx of immigrant children coming to the southern border, new images have surfaced from inside the overcrowded border facilities on the U.S. side. These photos, provided to PBS NewsHour by Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas, show adults and children bunched together on sleeping mats at a makeshift tent facility in Donna, Texas, operated by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. It comes amid an outcry from a bipartisan group of U.S. senators after they toured a border facility last Friday with Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Press were barred from the trip. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy said that he fought back tears while touring the facility. Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia said the facilities were, quote, overrun.
The numbers are just continuing to grow, and there's no impedance for these children to be coming in.
Mayorkas.
That is a curse, fam. Okay? That's a curse.
The border has two sides.
But there's no two ways of looking at it.
These are good people, strong people.
We're two reporters
visiting both sides of the border.
Open the border both ways.
We're here to show you the issues and the policies,
the faces and the stories.
Physical barriers or a wall.
We actually refer to the U.S. as a golden cage.
This is the border.
And this is how we see it now.
These are true facts for us, fam. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. I want to bring 2 points here. So the fruit of thy land, meaning this land, this continent, and all our labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Right? We got that. We got that. I'm going to show you something here. A nation, watch this. I see black things. Watch this here. Here.
This is how it is, huh? The battle.
The forecast calls for high electric bills.
Let's listen to the Bible. Let's see what the Bible match your history. More meaning rule forever. You can't never get a white man credit. They're talking about the white man wrote something like this. The white man wrote something this powerful. Man, we can't give that white man no credit. Read. That rule, because we gonna rule this.
I'm looking for a video, fam. I can just show you here. I think this is it. There you go, there.
Right here is King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII, if you type it on Wikipedia, you're going to see a Caucasian man. That's what you're going to see, Caucasian man. This is Henry VIII. He's a black man. Famous king, black man, but you see them as Caucasian man. Guess who this is in the middle? Queen Elizabeth I. She's a black.
So here's my point. Here's my point. Black people ruled Russia and our Europeans during the Dark Ages, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 28, 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors. Here's my point. Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. If you ruled Europe, you knew them. If you subjugated the white man in Europe, then you knew them. Right, fam? Is that not true? Okay? verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou set over thee. We've asked that, and I think Christians asked, who's your king? Okay. Again, but that's not the point. Unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. But you just said that black people ruled Russia and all Europe during the Dark Ages.
As having dark complexions. So there's a major contradiction.
Right here is King Henry.
So this right here tells me that how can verse 36 apply? And then what's this? Do you see the stupidity? Is this black man not have a cross, family? Right? So it says here, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. So that means that you, black man, your fathers, your grandfathers would have never known these white folks. And then to top it all off, you got the audacity to show us this picture here with the black dude and the cross. But verse 64 says this. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to another. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. But here we see a black guy with a freaking cross. So make it make sense for us, family. One West, IUIC, crazy lunatics, what's going on, man? Answer these questions. But see, you're not going to. Now, verse 35, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with the sore botch that cannot be healed from the soles of thy foot unto the top of thy head. When did that happen to you, black man? Black woman? Huh? Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, thou shalt be the tail. Hispanics got no representation in this country. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high. The white man is not a stranger to you. And thou shalt come down very low. They're not strangers to you. They're strangers to us. So, verse 33, get rid of it. Not your land. You know this nation. Verse 36, get rid of it. Your fathers knew these nations. Verse 36, 64, get rid of it. Because you knew of their religion and gods. Verse 43, get rid of it because you're not strangers to them. Do you want more? 33, 35. Verse 35, when did that happen to y'all? Verse 38, when is that happening to you guys? I'm sorry, verse 32, my bad. Verse 40, thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coast. But thou shalt not anoint thyself in oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. For thine olive shall cast his fruit. Where's your coast? Verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. I see you guys in football, basketball, baseball, black colleges, black presidents, black governors, black judges who are taking money from other people, black Republicans, black slave owners. What are y'all talking about? Here, I'm going to show you something I know you don't like. You don't like to listen to your history. You don't like to, I don't know what it is. Be proud of who you are. This is from the Geographical History of Africa by Leo Africanus, an actual black person. Okay. What do you guys want to, I mean, African American, whatever, African, I don't know what you want to call them. It says here, page 66, I'm sorry, chapter 2. All which opinions and reports are to be understood only of the originals of the Tani people, that is to say, of the Nubians and barbarians. Then it says, for all the Negroes or blackamoors are the descendants of Cush, the son of Cam, who was the son of Noah. But whatsoever difference between the Negroes and the Tani Moors, certain it is that they all had one beginning. For the Negro are descendants of the Philistines, and the Philistines of the Mizraims, the son of Cush. But the Tani Moor fetched their pedigree from the Sabians. It is evident that Sabah was begotten of Ramah, which was the eldest son of Cush. Diverse other opinions there be as touching this matter, which because they seem not so necessary, we have purposely omitted. They're saying it themselves. So my so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters, okay, I want to share this with y'all. Because I know that you probably like, oh, you just want to build, you know, because I just want to build, man. You have that tendency, but Jeremiah 2:33 says, why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy way. So you taught your children to trust in people just because you feel lonely, because you want to have brotherhood, even though you neglect the truth. You neglect, like, I mean, come on. Listen, I'm going to show you guys something from a book here. Even the fake Jews know what the real Hebrews look like. And they don't look white. And they don't look black. I'm going to show you something. This is from Mishnah Negrum something. I forget. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But it's from their Talmud. Watch what it says here. It says here. The children of Israel are like boxwood, neither black nor white, but of an intermediate shade. Okay? Here, I'll put this up there. I don't know how to pronounce that. So my bad, people. I don't know how to pronounce that. But check this out. So I bring that up, right? And then it brings me up to this book, which I brought yesterday. I brought out yesterday, and it just like reminds me of the point about, you know, it was the idiot guy, the guy that he thinks he's a what do you call it, a native. Watch what it says here in the same book that he's over here trying to promote. It's from the 1300s. He says it's actually 1827. The short dissertation of the original population of America. Original, okay? It reads, because he doesn't know how to read, or I don't think he read this. This subject has been discussed by numerous writers, and the result of their labor leaves the reader more perplexed than he was before he persuaded their speculation. In the course of these researches, it has not appeared that when Columbus discovered America, watch this, it has not appeared that when Columbus discovered America, it contained either white man, a Negro, or other black man. And it is very wonderful. It is a very wonderful event when we consider the extremes of climate, meaning that because at the temperature here, they're surprised that it was neither white because of the north or black people because of the temperature. No, on the contrary, the complexion of the Americans is of a reddish brown, nearly resembling the color of copper. Brown with you know, with red with brown, like a lot of my people. Not black, not Negro. The hair of their head is always black, long and coarse. No, it doesn't mean long and then you like use an iron and shit and then you straighten your hair. No, they don't count. They are said to have no beard. Their persons are a full size, straight, and well proportioned. Right? So this is quick. Look at this. The Eskimo are, though swarthy, inclining to the European white, rather to be American copper color. You see that? And the men have beards. Eskimos. They're chalk white individuals, but they are albinos such as accidentally exist in all parts of the world. Watch this. Mexicans are of a good stature, well proportioned. The skin is of an olive color, like boxwood, not black or white, and of a good complexion. The hair is thick, black, coarse, and glossy. Their beard is thin, like mine. Generally, no hair on their legs, like me. No hair on their arms, like myself. And no hair on their thighs, like myself. Many of the young women are beautiful and fair, like my daughters. You see, fam, this idiot who thinks he's a Aboriginal brings up this book. You talk about having a bunch of books here. Look, I have a book from the 13th century. Yeah, you dumbass, which is printed in 1827. And then to top it all off, fam, it goes and supports that we actually are the originals of the Americas. I don't have to explain it. I don't got to point it out. It's just a fact. Why would, if we weren't the real Hebrews, why would the Bible be taken away from us for 500 years? Why not allow us to have a print of the Bible? So, as you can see, family, you cannot deny the fact that there's a lot of digging to do right now. There's a lot of finding out that we need to find out, because these guys are not going to get away. They're not going to get away from their history. They are trying to run from their history. That's why they hate Joshua in the Bible, man. They always run from Joshua because the brother brings out the truth. You see, fam, that's why you got to go back and study, man. Study sincerely, because there were such a thing as black Europeans, and they didn't consider themselves Negroes. They consider themselves white people. Okay? I'm going to show you this quick, and I'm going to end it with this. This is from, watch this. I'm going to share this with y'all. This is something interesting facts about the race problem. It says in 1895, a contest in Constitutional Convention in 1895 over standard of white persons and prohibition of interbreeding with Negroes. The standard of white persons. So it's like they're arguing, what exactly does a white person, like, what is the standard of a white person? How do you identify a white person? See, it wasn't based on color back then, fam, because there was a lot of mixing involved. It was based on the fact that you could prove that you're from Europe. And if you were a child of a native, which was enslaved, then you would be a slave. So that's why you see a lot of these black folks who had slaves and they call themselves natives. That's why you Aboriginals have some feather knowledge, because your own people, unfortunately, enslaved your ass too. Yeah. And I showed you the video yesterday and how the brother brings it out. So you see, if you look through this here, you'll find that there's a lot of arguments about the intermarriage of white persons with Negroes. Mulattoes or persons of mixed blood descended from a Negro is prohibited by the state. You see that? But what is a Negro? And what is a white man? Or white standard is called. Not even a white man. Look, provided that this section shall not be so construed as to disqualify from marriage with white persons, any person or his or her issue, meaning the sperm, this fetus, the child, who shall have had at or before the adoption of this Constitution the status of a white person. So you see this, fam? Let me read this. Provided that this section shall not be construed as disqualify for marriage with white persons, any person or his or her issue, meaning child, who shall have had or at or before the adoption to this Constitution the status of white person. So if, let's say, for example, if I was black looking, but I was considered white standard, I was allowed to keep this, and my children too, regardless of what we look like. There's a lot of this going on, fam, in the Reconstruction. That's why black folks always argue about that, but they don't tell you the truth about why they're so mad. Look through this. Look through this. This is why this term here was very famous. The term of the Negro in black. It says the word black may include all Negroes, but the term Negro does not include all black persons. Make that make sense? We are the opinion that the word white and Negro, mulatto, and black persons, whenever they occur in the Constitution, must be taken in their generic sense. That the words black persons in the 14th section must be taken as contra, distinguished from white, and necessarily increase all races of other than the Caucasians. Just think of this. The word black may not include all Negroes, but the term Negro does not include all black persons. So there were black people, like natives, that were not considered Negroes. But there were Negroes that were not considered black. See, the word Negro does not include all black persons. A lot of secrecy in this country, and a lot to digest, and a lot to research. You cannot deny these facts, fam. That's why I tell you, I started again, and I'll say it one more time. Deuteronomy 29:29, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God. But those things which are revealed unto us but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Because you know what, fam? We've been lied to for quite some time. For quite some time, we've been lied to. But not anymore. Not anymore, fam. Yeah, I'm going to show you this link here. I got this book. The book is called The Five Negro Presidents. It says here that Abraham Lincoln was black. I don't doubt it. Not after all I found, family. Excuse me. Let me see if I have something here. I wanted to show you before I let it go. Watch this real quick.
They should be worried about us going to theirs. If it was a Muslim or a Mexican doing the shooting, how many new laws and how much money would we spend then to stop the madness? But since it's almost always a white kid, there's just nothing we can do. America has 5% of the world's population and yet 31% of the world's mass shootings. We're worried about people coming to this country. They should be worried about us going to theirs.
Yeah, and then this guy right here. I don't know if you guys know this black diaspora. This guy's, look, Latino calls her community for thinking white people will treat us better. Dominican says that she doesn't like black Americans pressuring her to, I guess, that she's black. Latina says Neri Martinez represents someone in their family due to anti-black. Brenda Smith, Lamont defends Afro-Mexicans, calls out Latinos, da-da-da-da-da. Latino calls out their own vile anti-black attitude, blah, 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 blah. This is all, they're just complaining. And now I wonder if these, we see a lot of these black folks, right, messing around with our vendors, our brothers and sisters that are vendors. Is it because they're watching people like these guys? Because this, you're talking out of your ass, dude. Why don't you show slavery, that black people own slaves? Why don't you show that? Why don't you show about the crimes and all the dirty shit that you black folks do? Why don't you show that? No, you want to show, it's the Asians did this, the whites did this, the Hispanics did this. Man, shut up. Y'all are not easily ignored anymore. This whole sympathy and like empathy about, poor. No, man, you ain't getting it in this channel. I'm tired of that shit. We've been conditioned to feel sorry for a nation of people that are just hypocritical. It's hypocritical, family. Because look, if we own slaves, guess what? We're going to pay for it. If we own slaves, we're going to pay for it. If you own slaves, you're going to pay for it. Own it. I'm going to show you this real quick.
I literally asked you to provide me with sources and you go and give me a bunch of random pictures. But let's go through these pictures. This is a drawing of racial categories. You can find many of these types of drawings, and all of these drawings will look different. Like this one. So it doesn't prove your claim. And those racial categories were created by this man, Johann Blumenbach. His research in the measurement of craniums led him to divide mankind into 5 great families: Caucasian, Mongolian, Malayan, Ethiopian, and American. It's literally old racial science which has been debunked. And he was one of the men who created race, which didn't exist before then. You guys love to use the terms Mongoloid, Caucasoid, Negroid. Those are all racial terms and derogatory as hell. So you're pushing racist ideology when you do this. And then later in your video, you said that they were Moroccan people, which would mean they were from Morocco, which would mean they are from Africa, not America. And that other picture said that they were Australoid, which would mean they were Australian. Now, I don't know where you got this random picture from, but you can't just take a random picture off the internet and then claim them to be native. And this person here, Iron Eyes Cody, he fabricated Native American identity, means he stole it. He was a Wabo. Because his real name was Espada Oscar de Corti, and his parents were immigrants from Sicily. They were Italian. So again, you picked a random picture off the internet and assumed that they were Native American. This picture right here, again, random pictures from Pinterest and someone just labeling these people and they don't even know who they are. You can't claim these people to be Native American just because somebody else put it on Pinterest and said so. Then for some reason you're claiming these people to be ancient Aztecs. Look at how they dress. That's not ancient clothing. These people are ancient Aztecs. We didn't have cameras back then. And they are also ancient Aztecs. Now this man is Native American, but you're saying because he's got dark skin, that means all Native Americans were this color, which we weren't. Again, racial science. He also has straight hair, not curly hair. Indigenous people came in all shades from light to dark. Now this was the only legit photo you had of a real person that I could actually find. And her name is Diane Fletcher. She was an Afro-Indigenous woman. She was mixed. Born in
Meaning her mother was a slave and her dad was the slaver. Hello? Dumb Aboriginals, man. Y'all, they're just pathetic. I don't even feel sorry for you guys, honestly, man. But let's go.
Mixed. Born in Oklahoma, her black father was born in Virginia as a slave.
What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you?
He ran away to live with the Seminole community. Though still a slave, they treated him better than his former master, and then he married a Seminole woman who died during the Indian Removal Act.
Supposedly, right? Supposedly in 1830. But in 1830, white people were barely getting rights to vote. You see how? You see how? Don't forget the hijack. Anyhow, I don't know who this sister is, man, but I appreciate that. Except, well, it's not her fault. I mean, it is because they got her on dysphoria. And they're like, yeah, you see, she's complaining and he's trying to measure up to the white man. Listen, I'm measuring up. I don't want to be friends with them, nor do I want to be friends with Canaan anymore. Nah, man, y'all, dude, that's the worst part. We open our doors, we put our guard down. At the end of the day, y'all are effing liars, man. And we know now, just like how the white man likes to maneuver through political realms, now I understand that you Canaanites want to maneuver through the Bible. So just like how you guys are trying to steal our heritage, the white man is trying to steal our land. Check it out.
Ellos saben muy bien lo que significa el litio. Es un mineral estratégico.
This region is so rich in resources, rare earth minerals, lithium. Why this region matters with all of its rich resources and rare earth elements. You've got the lithium triangle, which is needed for technology today. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security. and we need to step up our game.
You have let your country slide into the hands of narco-terrorists. You're leaving us with no other choice. That's step one. Name them for what they are, terrorist organizations. Step two is give the military the power, as the last resort, if Mexico won't help, to blow these damn labs up and kill the people who are killing us. We need to unleash the fury of the United States.
So just like a beast family, like any predator that's cornered up and about to lose, they're gonna go to the last strike. So they know that lithium is one way where America can still gain power. It's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get interesting, family. So we got attacks on both ends. On both ends. Let's see if this one was one of my. I think I was reserving this one for the end. Hold on a second. Let me see. Give me a second, fam. This is just our brother sent it to me, but it's just kind of like pictures and it's stuff that you would have to read. Canaanite cultures, you know, stuff like that. I'll show it another time. Fam. Anyhow, other than that, man, let me see what this one is. Oh, that's right. This one. That's what the one at the end. This is the one at the end. My bad. All right, fam. That's all I got. But I got this video. I want to show y'all real quick. I appreciate you, brother, for sending me that real quick, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. And hey, look, listen. Stay in the fight, fam. Stay in the fight. And if y'all celebrating Passover this month, all praises. Remember, keep in mind that if you were not able to, traveling or unclean, or like in my case, I'm moving, you can celebrate the next month. Okay? You guys got to understand that. Go into numbers. Okay? And it should be able to tell you. Matter of fact, let me see real quick. Hold up. Is it numbers 9 or 13? Yeah, 9. Numbers 9. Is it 13? No, numbers 9. So read numbers 9. Okay. And then you'll show you the next month. If you can't do it, you can follow it on the next month as well. All right, fam. So anyhow, let's go on this real quick. Hold on. This goes for all of y'all confused children.
With many, and this is more a Black American phenomenon. And just from talking to people, you know, especially like my Black family in the UK, a lot of it has to do this claiming this identity. You know, we go from we are the Asiatic black man to we are Black Hebrews, we are the Hebrew Israelites, to we are the Egyptians. We completely skip over West Africa. I mean, we completely skip over West Africa, and now we are the indigenous Olmecan, Moors, Chickasaw, Choctaw Indians from Turtle Island. But we completely skip over West Africa, where we come from. 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 Okay, I'm sorry. We are not Asiatic black people. We are not Hebrews. We are not Olmecan, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Moorish Moors from Turtle Island. We are Yoruba. We are Igbo. We are Mende. We are Fon. We are Ashanti. We are Wolof.
He's not lying, fam. That's why you guys got to read that book, The Lost Myth. The Lost Tribes, a Myth. It's that book that Nate the Snake likes to bring out. Wow, man. It's crazy. Anyhow, let me see if I'm forgetting anything. Hold up. Let me see. No, I think I got everything clear. Oh, I'm going to show y'all this next time on my other class. Watch this. I'll show it to you. It's called The Scriptures, Sacred Writings of the World's Religion. Just a couple pages regarding the Rastafarian, where it comes from, you know, Pan-Africanism, all that stuff, okay? So it just kind of gives us a little history of like their theology as well. Anyhow, other than that, fam, I appreciate you guys being here, man. I love y'all very much. Appreciate y'all very much. Lord willing, y'all can push this video around, and hopefully your brothers and sisters can actually get to, get proper edification. I'm going to follow up the class with a little bit more on what I've been wanting to get to, 1865. There's a lot to talk about 1865, fam. There's a lot in 1865 that we need to dig and research. Anyhow, other than that, let's see what I got. Nope, I don't. Give me a second here. Yeah, that's right. All right. So anyhow, let me go ahead and end it with this, fam. Give me a second here, real quick. Where are you? Here, there's 2 videos. Let's go.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.